My name is Nora and I'm a mother to 3 children. I currently work as an HR professional for Solutions. A little bit about my past. I was born in Cape Coral, Florida. My mother worked full-time as a CNA and my father was an abusive alcoholic. When I was 9, my mother decided to leave and we moved to a safe house 3.5 hours away. While there, my brother was hit by a car and was in the ICU for 3 months before being transferred to rehab in Jacksonville, Florida. And my dad passed away when I was 14. At 18, I was pregnant with my first child, and soon after I got married. And my mother and the majority of the rest of my extended family died when I was 21. My husband was extremely mentally and physically abusive, and a few times I almost didn't make it to be standing or sitting here today. So we moved to Colorado with no plans and found the Family Housing Network for the first time. So this was my first day with them, and it was hard navigating an already difficult relationship and situation while needing to learn how to adapt to differing beliefs and personality types, moving from church to church. Each week is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot of flexibility and organization. It makes it difficult to set up schools, transportation, and even basics such as showering. So when I left the program, I found a great job with growth opportunities, and the Family Housing Network continued to support when needed from the sidelines. And it was during this time that I finally left my husband, and I took out a loan and paid 2 months worth of bills for his household and then paid for my apartment and set things up. I was basically starting from scratch, and I had to find new care for the children. I co-signed for my then husband to get a new car so that I could keep the other. I had to go on leave for my job, and when that leave could no longer be extended, I lost my job. I still made everything work, just poorly. I had late bills that started to pile up. My car was totaled after someone pulled out in front of me. I couldn't get a new car because my now ex-husband hadn't paid his car payments, and there was a repo now on my credit. So after my second year of being divorced, everything came to a head. And between debts, housing, childcare, and transportation fees, I was facing eviction. So without family resources, I reached out to the Family Housing Network for the second time in my life. They're the one thing that stood between my kids spending Christmas in the streets and having some form of shelter. I had a tactical advantage from many of the other families who had entered FHN. I had a job, I had a business degree, and I had a lot of knowledge of the industry and resources available to me. But it doesn't mean that it was easy. I had no car, I was mostly on my own, and I was navigating child support. I needed to get it switched over because currently at that time I was still paying even though I was the one caring for the kids. So being in FHN really allowed me some time to breathe. I was able to put some money back and buy a car from Facebook Marketplace, which helped immensely. It was a very rundown 1997 Saturn, which I still have. And then when paired with some of the resources that we were given by FHN, there were a lot of things that had fallen to the wayside that I was finally able to tackle. So they gave me resources for alternative, more cost-effective and dependable childcare. They assisted with getting my child support switched over. And before I got a car, on some cold, snowy nights, they would stay with me a few extra minutes until my ride was able to get me to transport me from the day center to the church for that week. My kids had an amazing Christmas because of the love, support, and resources given. And I was able to save some money to pay off a lot of my debts. And then I was able to set money to the side to pay for a new apartment. And since I was working during apartment hours, Angela took time out of her busy schedule to turn in my paperwork, money, and advocate for me with the new apartment complex. And the team poured an immense amount of time, resources, and love into getting my family back on track. And it's not just my family, it's so many others they help navigate through rough patches that we are met in life. Those sometimes unexpected times that by ourselves are so impossibly hard to navigate alone. And I know when looking at my past, it's easy to think, it's really easy to just give up, but that's never been my personality, and I don't think it's the personality of many of the people who come to FHN. So now with FHN getting a permanent location, I think this is an amazing, life-changing milestone. This will move an already wonderful resource into being something so much more. There will be more safety and stability for families. And today, I have a really wonderful job. I work for a private company, and people matter where I work. And I've gained some stability, which I've never seen in my life. And it gives me a lot of peace of mind, and my children are safe. So they're learning Mandarin in school, they practice Taekwondo throughout the week, and then with the advice and kindness that was given through FHN, I know I have a solid footing in life. They've given me a network I can believe in. If this resource was to cease, it would be a great disservice to the families of Larimer County. I know it's hard to determine, which charity poses the best investment for our community. And I truly feel that FHN is one that earned the donations that people are so kind to give. The benefits extend beyond housing. It helps with revenue going through our communities. It helps with not having to see people living on the side of the road and panhandling. It raises confidence and stability in children, allowing for better grades and more focus going into their schooling. And with all of this being seen full circle, when those children mature and enter the job field and then beginning innovating for our future. So FHN should truly be praised for the life-changing work it is responsible for. I truly hope to see more people in the future building this wonderful group to heights that it may have never thought it could reach.